everybody, I'm InTheLittleWood, also known as Martin, and welcome back to Minecraft. Today I'm going to be doing a mod spotlight, which is something, if you're new to my channel, you might not know this, but it's not something that I like to do a lot. The only time I like to show off mods is when either something really excites me, which this has done, and if something that I think is made in a mod that should actually belong in the vanilla game, which this also does. So this is ticking both of the boxes, and it's called ExtraBiomesXL, and you can already see one of the extra biomes, because that's essentially what this mod does, and that over there is an extreme jungle, so it's essentially just a jungle but a little bit taller. But don't be discouraged, there's a lot of good stuff in this. So firstly, I'll show you this. There's only 2 crafting recipes in the entire of the mod, so I'll show you those in a few seconds, as well as some of the extra biomes. But this one here is actually a woodland biome, and in these biomes you're going to notice you got stuff like this, which is tall grass. Or I say tall grass, they're called leaf piles, which are actually just an addition on top of the grass. It's only 1 pixel thick, so if you have a little look below it, you actually notice that it's a very fine layer, which just gives it a little bit more life, a little bit more of an emboss. There's some custom tall grass, so that one's default Minecraft tall grass, and this one right here is actually like half tall grass, so it's like, you know, medium height grass, which I really like. And then you also get full ones as well. Now the only thing to mention is that with these custom ones, you can't actually break them like you can with the default ones, like so. You actually have to break the block that they live on, and then they'll actually end up disappearing with it, which is a little bit upsetting, but it's all good. And also another one to mention is just below trees here, I'm not sure if it's actually a retextured leaf pile or if it's a leaf pile with shadows on, but either way, it does look a little bit different just below here, which is pretty cool. Now, onto the crafting recipes. So the reason you're going to need these is because there's only actually 2 custom saplings in the entire of this mod. There's this one here, which is an autumn sapling, and there's this one here, which is a fir sapling. Now, bone meal is required to normally grow trees, but in this mod, not really the case with the custom saplings. You try using it and you're not going to get anything. I'm clicking away and nothing's really happening. You actually need to make something called fertilizer, which we're all very familiar with. All you need to make it is a bit of dirt, some egg and some seeds in the crafting bench, and there you go, loads of fertilizer. And then you right click and there we go. We've got a nice orange looking tree, which is pretty cool. Now in the autumn biomes, it looks absolutely stunning. You get like orange, red, green, purple, blue trees, golden, yellow. You get all the colours underneath the rainbow. It looks absolutely stunning. And then you're going to notice that the other sapling as well. I'm just going to try and find an open area because this tree is rather tall. You can see one just over in the distance there. This is the fir tree, so if I was to place that here, again, bone meal doesn't work. You have to use fertilizer, and there's not enough space. Hold on. Let's just break around here a little bit. Let's try again. Now maybe? No. Oh god, no, I can't find it. Anyway, I'll come over to here to show you. So just over here, you can see that's a fir tree. Now, the only problem is that the autumn trees, like you can see over there, the autumn trees actually drop autumn saplings, whereas the fir tree only drops taiga saplings, the default taiga one from Minecraft, which looks a little bit like that. Now, if you want to make a fir sapling, all you got to do is come over to the crafting bench, pop a taiga sapling in, pop a bit of bone meal in as well, and there you go, you've got your first sapling, which is all good. And other than that, there's really not a lot else to tell you about this mod, other than showing you all of the biomes that are added in this. So I'm not going to show you all of them, because there's about 20, but I'm going to show you some of my favourite ones, because a lot of them are like the extreme jungle, and just ever so slightly varied versions of the original vanilla ones. So here's some of the biomes that I love in ExtraBiomesXL. So let's start off by looking at some of the cooler biomes inside of this mod. We're starting off with the rocky and snowy Alp mountains, very cool to have a little wander through. Moving on to the glaciers that are purely made up of snow blocks, ice and stone, are very tricky to navigate sometimes. And finally we got the purely ice wasteland, which is just chilling to the bone. Now let's look at some of the darker and murkier biomes inside of this mod, starting off with the Bayou biome, which is quite fun to say. Now you probably see a really cool swamp, but I see the best parkour map ever. As well as that, you've got the bog, which is a complete brown overhaul. It sounds disgusting, which has got the remains of trees and a little bit of dark water as well. As well as that, you've got the wasteland, which is probably one of the most impressive ones because it actually feels legit. It's very bare, it's very lonely, and sometimes feels like it goes on forever. And as well as that, you've got the savannah, which is pretty much the same, which has a little bit more life with the occasional tree here and there. Onto some of the biomes that I feel like have a real atmosphere, starting off with the Red Rock Mountains. They make me feel like I'm actually on Mars. Sticking on the topic of red, you get the Redwood Lushes, the Redwood Forest, the Redwood Mountain regions. There's these huge, tall trees that just span for ages, and they really make you feel like you're inside of a forest. As well as that, you've got the really unique looking marshlands, which I'll be honest, probably wouldn't recommend you try and ride a boat in. Moving on to some of the pretty looking biomes inside of this mod, you got the big luscious meadows with bold green grass, and these often segue into the pretty little flower fields, which are just absolutely littered with custom plants. But of course there's a mix between these two biomes. They're called the Green Hills, and they remind me so much of the Emerald Hill Zone in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's brilliant. And then we move on to my favourite biome in the entire of this mod, the Autumn Forest. It's just absolutely stunning. Different colours of trees, golden leaf piles. It just captures the entire season in one area. And of course there are still a ton of biomes that I still haven't actually found myself. Stuff like the Mystic Forest, gravel beaches, and even the wheat fields where I'm going to reenact a gladiator scene. Final thing to note is that you can actually use fertilizer on the earth to grow the custom tall grass and flowers in this mod. There's a link in the description to the mod. It requires mod loader, which actually makes the installation process a lot easier. If you get stuck with anything, make sure you leave a comment below or leave a comment on the thread and let them know that I sent you. Okay, bye!